This wasn't just a loss on paper, it was a full-blown meltdown from top to bottom. So what did Azinger catch that everyone else totally overlooked? Let's break it down. The scoreboard said 15-13, with Europe keeping the trophy once again and Team USA taking another hit on home soil. But that number? It didn't even scratch the surface of what really went down. Because the real story wasn't the golf, it was the madness that swallowed it whole.
You can say if it's smart or if it's not smart. What can the captain?
Bethpage Black turned into a war zone. Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry got hammered with heckles, fans were screaming mid-swing, drinks flying through the air, and even families weren't spared from the abuse. This wasn't passion, this was pure chaos dressed up as pride. It went way past the line, turning dark and ugly fast. And the PGA of America? They flat out lost control of the crowd. Even former US captain Tom Watson had to step in, saying he was ashamed of how nasty and disrespectful the behavior got. He straight up apologized to Team Europe. Imagine that! A legendary American captain saying sorry for his own fans? That says it all. Things were that bad. But here's where it really gets wild. The PGA knew exactly what they were walking into. Bethpage Black already had a rep for wild, rowdy fans during past US Opens and PGA Championships. Bethpage Black is known for wild crowds, so why pick it for the Ryder Cup? Easy money and headlines. They wanted sold-out tickets, viral clips, and that public course for the people storyline to make it all sound heroic. But let's be real, they chased hype instead of fairness, and it blew up in their faces spectacularly. That so-called home advantage turned into a total disaster. The energy got so toxic it crushed Team USA's own momentum. So here's the real question. Did the PGA mess up by picking Bethpage Black, or did the fans just lose their minds? Drop your thoughts below. Was it bad planning or pure chaos gone wild? And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because we're digging deep into the truth behind this total meltdown. Let's talk leadership, or honestly the absence of it. Paul Azinger didn't mince words when he spoke about Captain Keegan Bradley. Azinger said Bradley was thrown into a no-win situation, and the people who put him there, they should have known better. That wasn't just a critique, that was a full-on shot fired at the PGA of America's decision-making. So, what exactly went wrong with Bradley? Two massive issues. First off, he was ranked 11th during the 2025 season, playing solid golf, even taking home the Travelers Championship. But instead of competing, he was forced to step back and play the captain role way too soon. That means Team USA knowingly hit the field missing one of their top 12 players. They basically sabotaged themselves before the first tee shot. Imagine the tension that caused inside the team. Keegan Bradley stuck on the sidelines watching his boys grind it out, knowing deep down he could have been out there stacking points. But instead, he's torn between chasing wins and playing the leader role the PGA forced on him. That's a nightmare position. No athlete should have to choose between pride and duty like that. It proved the PGA totally misread what the Ryder Cup truly demands. You need a captain all in on leading, not someone caught in two worlds. Europe gets it. Their captains are legends. Retired warriors long past their playing prime, not still in the fight. European captains can lock in fully, studying matchups, chemistry, and team mindset without ever wondering if they should still be playing. But here's the real kicker. Keegan Bradley had zero experience as an assistant or vice captain. None at all. The PGA basically tossed him into the deep end without a life jacket. And why? Because he was a fan favorite, a hometown face who looked great on camera. Perfect for marketing, perfect for hype, but terrible for winning. The organization chased headlines over strategy and turned the Ryder Cup into a PR campaign. Europe would never pull that stunt. They actually trained their captains through years of mentorship before giving them the throne. Luke Donald didn't just wake up one day and become captain. He earned it. He served as a vice captain multiple times, learned the grind, handled the pressure, and built deep trust with his players over years. That's how real leadership is built. Meanwhile, the US side treats captaincy like a celebrity endorsement. Flashy name first, strategy second. It's supposed to be a war plan, not a photo op. And here's where it gets even worse. Team USA ditched the one system that actually worked back in 2008. Paul Azinger pulled off something genius back then, the legendary pod system. He modeled it after Navy SEAL operations, brought in psychological experts, and built unity from the ground up. It was pure brilliance. Azinger split his 12-man squad into 3 tight pods of 4. Small, loyal units that ate together, practiced together, and battled together like family. But here's the genius twist. He didn't group them by swing style or stats. He grouped them by personality. Azinger wanted guys who'd run toward each other when the heat hit, not fall apart under pressure. It wasn't just about golf, it was about trust. He built chemistry that couldn't be faked. In Ryder Cup chaos, you don't just need skill, you need someone who's got your back when it's all on the line. When you pair players by emotional connection instead of technique, you build bonds so strong they don't crack, even when the pressure explodes. When one guy hit a bad shot, his partner didn't roll his eyes or tense up, he lifted him up. Encouragement, trust, real teamwork. That's what Azinger got right. Golf might be a solo grind most of the year, but the Ryder Cup, that's a battlefield where unity wins. The pod system forced these stars to stop acting like lone wolves and start acting like a squad, not just players in matching polos, but brothers with a shared mission. And guess what? It worked, big time. Team USA crushed Europe at Valhalla, 16-half to 11-half to 11-half, a masterclass in chemistry and confidence. But jump to 2025, that magic system, gone. Totally scrapped like it never existed. Team USA went in with zero structure, no pods, no chemistry pairing, no mental game plan, just the same old predictable setup that's failed over and over again. Azinger had a name for it: organizational memory loss. The PGA completely forgot what actually worked because they were too stubborn to change. Azinger's message was crystal clear: leadership beats lineups every single time. You can throw together the 12 best golfers on earth, but without strategy, trust, and real preparation, they'll crumble when it counts. And then came the LV golf mess, and Azinger didn't hold back. He slammed the decision to leave out Brooks Koepka, calling it one of the biggest self-inflicted wounds in modern Ryder Cup history. Azinger flat out said there was no way Brooks Koepka wouldn't have shown up and dominated if he'd been picked, but he never even got the call. And why? Politics and pride. Team USA chose loyalty to the PGA Tour over actually winning. They traded power for politics, and it showed. Meanwhile, Europe played it smart. Captain Luke Donald didn't care about drama. He wanted results. He brought in live stars John Ram and Tyrrell Hatton, who already had built-in chemistry from their Smash GC days. Azinger called them a brilliant pair, and he was right. Their connection translated straight into points. Europe used strategy, America used ego, and in a tournament decided by inches, leaving proven killers like Koepka out, that wasn't just a mistake, it was unforgivable. Team USA didn't roll out their best 12 players, they rolled out the 12 that fit their political image, and it backfired in brutal fashion. Now let's talk about the battlefield itself. Bethpage Black, Azinger didn't mince words. He hated that setup as a player. He pointed out how the design was full of awkward quirks: downhill tee shots that slide away, uphill approaches where you can't even see the landing area, and weird angles that mess with your rhythm. Those aren't small nitpicks, they're deal breakers for precision players. But here's the deeper sting. Azinger said Team USA didn't even know this course like a true home team should. No emotional connection, no comfort zone. A real home advantage means instinct, confidence, and love for the ground you're fighting on, and the Americans had none of it. Azinger called it what it was: a home game with no home energy. Bethpage Black looked like an American fortress, but the vibe told a different story. Players weren't comfortable, the fans were too wild, and strategy, non-existent. Instead of setting up the course to match Team USA's strengths, the PGA left it practically neutral, almost European. That's not home advantage, that's handing your enemy the keys. Europe, on the other hand, came in like a squad with a plan. They'd studied the setup, prepped their pairings, and treated every hole like a chess move. Azinger said it perfectly. Europe played golf, America played chaos. And in a mind game like the Ryder Cup, the smarter side always wins. Azinger's final take cut deep. He said Team USA's failure wasn't about talent, it was about culture. Europe runs on unity, mentorship, and emotional intelligence. The US, it runs on ego, marketing, and misplaced confidence. They don't build teams, Azinger said. They build brands. And that's the problem. You can't merchandise chemistry. While Europe's players bonded like brothers, America's stars acted like solo acts sharing a stage. No wonder the energy felt fractured. The Ryder Cup isn't about who hits the farthest, it's about who trusts each other when it matters most. Until Team USA learns that lesson, Azinger warned, they'll keep losing, no matter how many trophies they dream of taking back. So, what's the takeaway here? The Ryder Cup didn't expose America's weakness, it confirmed it. Poor leadership, bad preparation, wrong priorities, and zero psychological game. The chaos at Bethpage Black wasn't an accident. It was the symptom of an organization too proud to evolve. Azinger's breakdown wasn't a rant, it was a wake-up call. He said if the PGA doesn't change how it builds captains, chooses courses, and respects chemistry, this losing streak won't stop, it'll define them. The future of US golf depends on whether they listen or double down on old mistakes. And before you go, hit that like, smash subscribe to Golf Swing, share your take in the comments, and let's keep this real talk rolling. Because this story, it's only just getting started. There was no home advantage at Bethpage. None. The choice to host there was all about fame, TV ratings, and flashy headlines, not strategy or substance. But here's where it went from bad to worse. Jim Furyk later confirmed the US team's course setup requests were straight up ignored. They asked for less rough, firmer greens, tighter playing conditions, and got the complete opposite. By the time Team USA showed up, the greens were soft and sluggish thanks to rain and setup mismanagement. And that's a massive deal. Soft greens kill the distance control and spin precision that American players rely on. Instead, those conditions handed Europe the advantage, perfect for their style, where receptive greens let them attack pins with confidence. The so-called home setup turned into Europe's playground. Let that sink in. Team USA couldn't even control their own course. The PGA of America cared more about protecting Bethpage Black's tough guy image than giving their team a real edge. That's next-level mismanagement, a home field advantage completely thrown away. But Azinger didn't stop there. He went straight for the cultural heart of the problem. He said the issue wasn't just strategy, it was hypocrisy. Sure, Rory McIlroy took brutal abuse from some fans, totally unacceptable. But when Rory fired back with that wild, vulgar gesture and later bragged it felt pretty effing good, Azinger saw something deeper. He said the double standard was crystal clear. When Americans lose their cool, they're labeled unprofessional. But when Europeans snap, it's suddenly passion. That imbalance, he said, is poisoning the spirit of the Ryder Cup. Azinger laid it out plain. McIlroy can't have it both ways. You can't preach golf etiquette 1 minute, then throw up vulgar gestures and go off on fans the next. When pros lash out like that, they don't calm the storm. They feed it. It tells the crowd that wild behavior's fair game for everyone. That line between player and fan, it collapses instantly. Azinger warned that true leadership from the PGA all the way down to the players means showing restraint, especially when emotions are boiling. Because if the top names lose control, what message does that send? It proves just how deep this culture crisis runs in modern golf. The double standard isn't just embarrassing, it's a warning sign that the game's core values are slipping away fast. We've hit a breaking point. Everyone wants to play both the victim and the villain. Fans scream insults, then cry foul when players snap back. Players throw shade, make bold gestures, then demand respect and silence from the crowd. And the PGA? They hype up the chaos for views and ticket sales, then act stunned when it all blows up in their faces. It's a never-ending blame game where everyone's fueling the same fire. Azinger said this is what happens when golf forgets what made it special in the first place. Values. This sport was built on honor, composure, and self-discipline. Golfers literally call penalties on themselves. That used to mean something. But now, the line between professionalism and performance is getting blurred, and the whole culture's losing its balance. Golf used to be sacred. Spectators stayed silent. Players showed respect, even when everything was on the line. But the modern Ryder Cup? It's throwing that tradition straight out the window. Now it's all about being louder, flashier, more dramatic, turning golf into just another spectacle instead of the gentleman's game it was meant to be. And what's driving this meltdown? Pure commercialization. The Ryder Cup is being buried under its own greed. The broadcast felt like one long commercial break. Fans were fuming online, calling it unwatchable. Every few minutes, the flow of match play got chopped up by endless ads. And at Bethpage, it didn't feel like a championship. It felt like a corporate carnival. Everywhere you looked, flashy sponsor zones, brand banners, VIP tents, everything but the soul of the game itself. DraftKings built a massive, ultimate man cave. Crypto.com plastered its name across every corner. The whole event looked more like a Vegas festival than a golf tournament. The Ryder Cup was sold as a high-octane playground for betting, booze, and brand deals. And that's exactly the kind of chaos that Azinger and Tom Watson warned about. When you chase hype and money instead of tradition and class, you create the disrespect that poisoned Bethpage Black. Golf's values got traded for short-term cash grabs, and the result? Total cultural collapse. The Ryder Cup stopped being about pride and became about profits. But Azinger wasn't just complaining, he had a plan. His first mandate, leadership over hype. He said future captains must be chosen for their brains, not their brand. Real experience as assistants or vice captains, not just popular names, should define who leads Team USA next. Leadership can't be treated like some PR stunt or political favor, it has to be strategic, period. Azinger hammered this home when he said, the people who put Bradley in that spot should have known better. The Ryder Cup captain should be groomed for the role, not picked because they look good on posters or make headlines. His second demand, respect over rivalry. The PGA needs to lock in real rules, strict, no-nonsense standards of behavior for both players and fans. Zero tolerance for vulgarity, abuse, or chaos, and those rules need to be enforced hard. Azinger made it clear, you can't call for respect while acting reckless. Players have to lead by example. The honor of the game has to come before ego, hype, or viral moments, because once integrity's gone, the whole sport falls apart. Azinger's third rule hit hard. Strategy over spectacle. Every Ryder Cup venue and setup should serve one purpose, giving Team USA the strongest edge possible. Popularity contests and prestige picks need to take a back seat. Player feedback on green firmness, rough height, and layout should be respected, not ignored. Bethpage was a wasted opportunity because the PGA chased image over intelligence, and that mistake can never happen again. When Azinger dropped these truths, the reaction was split straight down the middle. Some fans and analysts applauded him for finally saying what everyone was too scared to admit, calling him the rare voice with real credibility and guts. But others fired back, calling him bitter, out of touch, and overly harsh. Either way, he sparked a fire the golf world couldn't ignore. This divide exposes something much deeper inside golf culture. A stubborn resistance to change. Everyone wants victory, But few want to face the uncomfortable truth that it takes real reform to get there. The PGA of America is standing at a crossroads right now. They can take Azinger's critique seriously, treat it like the data-driven wake-up call it is, and finally break down the culture of complacency. They can choose to protect the game's integrity over empty spectacle, or keep pretending everything's fine while the losses pile up. Because if they ignore this again, it's only going to get uglier. More defeats, more controversy, more public embarrassment. The writing's on the wall. 9 losses out of the last 12 Ryder Cups. The pattern's not bad luck anymore. It's proof that something inside the system is broken. That's not bad luck, that's a full-blown system failure. Europe cracked the code years ago. Solid leadership, smart captain picks, personality-based pairings, and tactical course control. They've built a machine. Meanwhile, Team USA keeps trying to reinvent the wheel every 2 years. New captain, new plan, no memory, no stability. It's chaos dressed up as change. It's like watching a company fire its entire management after every bad quarter, then act shocked when nothing improves. At some point, you've got to stop blaming the captains, the players, or the weather, and look at the system itself. Azinger isn't just pointing fingers. He's forcing the PGA to face the uncomfortable truth that their whole structure might be broken from the top down. This was never about Keegan Bradley failing as a captain. It's about a broken system that sets him up to fail. The PGA keeps handing out leadership roles without giving their captains the real tools, experience, or backing to win. And that's what's driving American golf fans crazy, because the US doesn't lack talent. They've got world-class players, insane resources, and home course advantage on their own turf. They have everything they need to dominate, yet somehow keep falling short. Why? Because they won't learn. They won't adapt. They won't drop the old-school ego and follow the strategies that actually work. Instead, they keep chasing TV moments and marketing hype until the PGA puts winning above image. The losses will keep coming, no matter how much talent they have on paper. It's like having all the ingredients for a 5-star meal, but refusing to follow the recipe because you know better. Then acting shocked when it tastes like disaster. How many more humiliating losses does it take before the PGA finally admits the truth? How many times do they have to get embarrassed on home soil before realizing their formula just doesn't work? Azinger breaking his silence after months wasn't just commentary, it was a warning shot. He made it clear the 2025 collapse wasn't some one-off bad week. It was proof of a system that's been rotting for years. He called it straight up, this needs radical surgery. Every failure from leadership picks to fan chaos to clueless course setups can be fixed, but only if the PGA has the guts to stop protecting its image and actually start protecting the game. Team USA's refusal to bring back the POD system, their failure to use their full roster, and their total lack of control over their own course, all of it screams one thing: a complete lack of seriousness about the Ryder Cup. And now, heading into the 2027 showdown at Adar Manor in Ireland, the US has no excuses left. They've been handed a full, evidence-backed blueprint for how to fix this mess. All they have to do is follow it. But here's the real question: will the PGA of America actually act on it? Because the 2025 Ryder Cup wasn't just another bad loss. It was a wake-up call heard around the world. Paul Azinger, the last man to lead Team USA to victory on home soil, gave them a brutally honest diagnosis: failed leadership, abandoned strategy, cultural collapse, wasted advantage, and a sport selling its soul for money. These aren't excuses, they're straight-up facts. And until the PGA steps up and actually fixes them, Team USA is gonna keep losing, plain and simple. So what happens next? That's all on the leadership. Will they finally learn from this disaster, or are they doomed to repeat it again in 2027? Only time will tell. But one thing's crystal clear: Azinger dropped the truth bomb, and now the PGA's got no place to hide. The challenge is on the table, and golf fans everywhere are watching what comes next. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Smash that like button, subscribe to Golf Swing for more deep dives into golf's biggest controversies. Share this video with your crew and drop your thoughts in the comments. Can Team USA bounce back, or are we in for another meltdown? See you in the next one.